A massive hit that produced 2 sequels and 2 crossover films, this sci-fi action horror film from director John McTiernan grossed nearly $100 million from its $15 million budget when it was released in June of 1987. The original concept began as a Rocky vs. E.T. joke script for the yet unwritten 5th Rocky installment, which accidentally made its way to 20th Century Fox, where it eventually became this memorable piece of 80s cinema. Arnold Schwarzenegger leads a group of elite, wise-talking commandos deep in the Central American jungle as they're hunted by a vicious extraterrestrial warrior. The cast of brawny men, which includes 2 future governors, require only a grunt or a point to devise a plan of attack. Given the extreme physical nature of the adventure, Arnold does a fantastic job keeping his cool and looking like a badass, especially when he gives his co-star Carl Weathers the most epic handshake in film history. The rest of the group are largely disposable meatbags though, which is a welcome development as one of the soldiers never shuts up about his girlfriend's large vagina for some reason.
The other day I went up to my girlfriend, I said, you know, I'd like a little pussy. She said, me too, mine's as big as a house!
The fast-paced 107-minute film is supported by the familiar sounds of Alan Silvestri, whose unrelenting score ties all of the high-stakes tension together. Meanwhile, the titular villain is an enigmatic, heat-seeking monster, silently stalking his prey with truly terrifying hunting abilities, matched only by his absolute bloodlust. But the steadfast Schwarzenegger is quick to remind his team, if it bleeds, we can kill it. The R-rated movie has plenty of awesome explosions and shootouts, but they're occasionally difficult to follow, as many of the locations and people look so similar. Although it shares a great deal of its narrative structure with a typical slasher film, there's no shortage of iconic one-liners, which should keep action fans well entertained. Things get the most interesting when Schwarzenegger goes into Home Alone mode and attempts to defend his position with hastily made booby traps as he squares off against the alien. Relying primarily on practical effects and stunt work, the small bit of visuals here work well to keep you immersed in the somewhat believable story, but are hardly impressive, looking more like a misapplied color correction effect. McTiernan, however, fills the 16:9 frame with a balanced selection of detailed close-ups and beautiful wide shots. A simple and thrilling experience that never requires much of the viewer, this is an enjoyable start to a rewatchable franchise. Predator, disposable plot with frightening creature. Here are your thoughts now from the YouTube comments. Predator receives a 9 and a 7 on the Rate-O-Matic. With many of you citing this as a favorite, expertly blending horror, sci-fi, and action, you consider it an awesome film. Outside of its alien antagonist, the concept and execution here is actually rather conventional. Some great set pieces and corny dialogue make it a staple of any self-respecting action library though, so I'm scoring it a cool.